Good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to talk about plant microbe interaction in ecological aspect. So the objective of my talk is to give you a little hints in another word to remind you a little bit that why we should care about plant microbe. So how do you think, guys, bacteria are good or bad? Please, everyone, including Malaika too. So how do you think? Bacteria good or bad? So we will get a maybe more appropriate and more confident answer after a couple of slides later, because I'm going to ask you the same question again. So in Germany, I did my master program in sustainable international agriculture under organic agriculture specializations. So in very first day of my class, a renowned professor named Andreas Burkhardt, Malaka, please correct me if I'm wrong because it's a German name. He was just talking about the cassava agricultural production system in Africa, where the harsh condition is less nutrient, less water, especially in sub-Saharan African countries. So he was just talking about how cassava root system works. It's colonized by mycorrhizal fungus, and mycorrhiza solubilize phosphorus and provide nutrients to plants. In return of that, plants give shelter as well as provide nutrient to mycorrhiza. So I was really surprised, and that time I was really hard time passing, thinking about families because it's a very first day of my class in Germany. I was thinking about my friends back in Bangladesh and also struggling how to get or catch the train to reach Kassel from Göttingen. So I didn't understand what he was. I understood what he was talking, that the mycorrhiza helping plants, but I didn't understand the whole story. But I can understand right now what he was talking about. So here the plant, and inside the root, we can see the oval-shaped, not typically what we see in our greenhouse, slow-releasing fertilizer. It's mycorrhizal spores. Plant has some phytohormone or exudes that it can release through its from its roots, and those spores get signal and they germinate towards the signal, and eventually they get inside the plant root and they exchange nutrients. And in long term, those roots gets colonized, those fungus gets colonized around the roots, make a very big net structure and provide nutrients to plants, and plants give shelter and as well as nutrient. This give and take relationship is called symbiosis. What he was really trying to teach us that day. So I had a very good impression that fungus are not bad. They can help plants, and they act like our friends, not enemies. But another story happened when another renowned professor named Maria Fink from Ecological Crop Protection Department, she just came and showing us so many nasty photos of diseases, fungus, fungal disease, viral disease, bacterial disease, as well as nematode infections too. And she was focusing on bacterial disease. And I was impressed about her slides, and I was thinking, yes, bacteria are really bad, and we should think about it and do something for the plants. Uh, and I decided to work with plant pathology after that. And not only like plant pathologists like us, but also everywhere in the world, you will see some advertisement showing our agents killing 99% of germs, 100% of bacteria, so on. But we rarely forget that it's not always the case. Bacteria sometimes can help us in many ways. Even we are depend on bacteria too. Can you imagine in our skin, millions of beneficial bacteria are involving directly and indirectly in our immune system. Even though in our gut, human gut, we have 85% of good bacteria and 15% of bad bacteria. So it's a well balanced. When this balance gets a little bit dismissed, then we have some problems, some disease as well. So I offered a caramel bar over there for you guys. It's not for giving me good grade, but to reminds you that in dairy product every day we are eating directly bacteria or bacterial enzymes. For example, here in caramel bar, uh, we used bacterial enzymes called invertase that can help to liquefy the sugar. It can just separate glucose and sucrose. That's why we get liquefied sugar in it. So not only in evolution, health, food, but also in environment, bacteria can help us in different way. They are invisible friends. They only need asking help. If we ask help to them, they are ready to help us, even though in harsh condition too. So shouldn't it be smart to ask help to them in environmental challenges? I think yes, we should. So some um, young researchers in Europe and also in Israel, were together collaboration. They ask help from bacteria. How? They exposed some plants in drought, uh, and then they put bacteria on it. So in right hand side, you see those plant with drought. Left hand side, those plant also in drought, but here without bacteria and here with bacteria. And and how it helps? It gives us more biomass, more survival rate, as well as more roots. So how bacteria works here? Bacteria works in a way that it senses the root systems, more hairy root, and it makes some sponge-like structure around the root so that plant can absorb water from the surrounding soils. So this sponge-like structure, basically we call it biofilm, bacterial biofilm. So here the electron microscopic photos from this experiment they've done. So those two plants are exposed to drought, but here there is no bacteria. Here they use bacteria. So you see they got um, more soil moss because bacteria colonize in this root system and make more biofilm. As you can see here, this portion, they make it bigger and eventually they make more bigger here and they saw the biofilm around the root. So it essentially helps plants to absorb water from the surroundings, eventually more dense root system, more vigorous plant, tolerance plant, as well as more biomass for the plants. So the genetical modification we have done, but it's more slower. So they just wanted to ask help from bacteria if they can help directly. If we put something on the plant, then maybe plant can get a drought tolerance against it. So they use Bacillus thuringiensis bacteria, bacterial strains. For this, it's co-evolved with million of years. In harsh region, they collect those bacteria from Israel, Egypt, and Arizona, and they did this experiment. So now my question again. So how do you think bacteria are good or bad? So it depends, right? As you already said, they are not always our enemy, but sometimes allies, right? So this is my reference papers that I cite, and thank you for your listening. If you have any questions.